Ever seen a massive marlin leap from the ocean glistening in the sun? It's a sight that thrills American anglers every June. Today, we're off to Hawaii to see how they land over 1 million pounds of giant marlin, worth $3.4 million, in just 3 months yearly. Of the 4 marlin species in Hawaiian waters, Pacific blue and striped marlin are the top game fish. The Pacific blue marlin is the largest species and can live up to 20 years. These giants can grow over 14 feet long and weigh a staggering 2,000 pounds. Their massive size is matched by diving skills, plunging 3,000 feet deep at speeds up to 50 miles per hour. They range from Hawaii's warm waters to the chilly depths off California's coast. The Pacific blue marlin world record, caught off Northeast Australia, weighed a staggering 2,181 pounds. Though smaller than Pacific blue marlins, striped marlins are more striking, with vivid blue stripes along their bodies. They average 12 feet and 450 pounds, but some have been recorded reaching lengths up to 18 feet. Striped marlins prefer warmer waters between 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. The most distinctive feature of all marlins is their elongated spear-shaped bill, which they wield with incredible precision to stun and impale large prey like a 200-pound tuna in one strike. Despite their resilience, marlin populations face growing threats. Atlantic blue and white marlin are listed as near threatened by the IUCN, mainly due to overfishing. The U.S. has banned commercial marlin fishing nationwide. Kona, Hawaii is the sole exception, with only 164 licensed professional fishing boats. This exception exists because Hawaiians have mastered marlin fishing over centuries, making it a key income source. Kona's marlin fishing season is year-round, peaking from June to September. This spot has seen some of the world's largest marlin catches, including over 60 fish weighing 1,000 plus pounds. These impressive catches draw top anglers worldwide for the Hawaii International Marlin Tournament each August. Trolling with rod and reel is the most popular and effective method in Kona. It involves dragging lures or live bait behind a moving boat at 7-10 knots to mimic prey and entice marlins to strike. Two main bait types are used in Kona marlin fishing: live bait and artificial lures. Live bait, usually large fish like tuna or mackerel weighing 1-10 pounds, is often caught fresh on the grounds. Artificial lures, made from various materials, can mimic a school of 10-20 fish. Marlins are aggressive predators that respond to splashes and long bait trails, so artificial lures often lead to quicker catches. Hawaii pioneered marlin bait development, earning recognition as the birthplace of this innovative technique. Some skilled anglers use a mix of live and artificial bait to boost their chances of success. Marlins are known for their incredible bursts of speed during their initial runs. exert immense pressure on the line, often exceeding 800 pounds of force for a large blue marlin. However, they tire over time and their pulling force decreases during the fight. Anglers typically don't try to overpower a marlin. Instead, they use drag settings on reels to create friction, gradually tiring the fish over about 30 minutes. Consequently, sturdy rods and reels made of graphite and fiberglass are essential for marlin fishing. Rods usually range from 8 to 12 feet long and can withstand at least 80 pounds of drag. It can take 6 hours for the first bite, but this angler's lucky, getting a hit after just 4 hours. He quickly secures the rod's butt in a stable holder to help absorb the pulling force. Once close, skilled sailors spring into action, using special harpoons to secure the fish. These large hooks, made to pierce marlin's thick skin, provide a firm grip while ensuring safety for both fisher and fish. Experienced crew keep the marlin's sharp bill pointed away from themselves and onlookers to prevent injuries. For commercial catches, landing usually involves hoisting the marlin onto the deck with a specialized lift. Once caught, the marlin is promptly processed on board or taken ashore for further handling. In Hawaii, fresh marlin is a prized delicacy, costing an average of $11.95 per pound. In 2020, Hawaii's commercial marlin fishing yielded 900,000 pounds, valued at over $1.1 million. In the US, recreational marlin fishing mainly happens in the Atlantic Ocean and Gulf of Mexico. To protect marlin populations, specific size limits are enforced. Anglers can only keep blue marlins over 99 inches, while other species must be at least 66 inches long. Catch and release is a key principle in recreational marlin fishing. While the thrill remains, fish can survive and continue contributing to the marine ecosystem. If a marlin dies during catch and release, anglers may keep it for consumption. Both recreational and commercial fishermen must log all marlin catches for accurate documentation. Ikiari Sewa fishermen also tag and track marlins. The tag, inserted in the dorsal fin or muscle, emits signals tracked by satellites, allowing researchers to monitor marlin movements over time. Instead of harpoons, specialized handling techniques are used to safely contain the fish during tagging. Once caught, fishers give oxygen to the fish's mouth while inserting the tag with a stick. This boosts their survival chances after release. After tagging and stabilizing the fish, the hook is removed and the marlin is gently released back to its habitat. While tagging tracks marlins well, tags can detach or malfunction at sea. Over 106,923 tagged marlins were caught in Ikiari Sewa. 723 marlins of various species were tagged, but remain at risk due to their extensive migrations. Some Some marlins, like blue marlin, migrate over 14,700 kilometers across the Pacific, Earth's largest ocean. This makes it hard to implement and enforce effective conservation measures between nations. A major concern is the impact of commercial fishing on marlin populations. Japan, consuming lots of marlin for sushi, faces criticism for unsustainable fishing practices. In fact, Japan's yearly marlin catch may reach 2 million pounds, pressuring these threatened species. Are these squid or sashimi pieces so familiar to us? Ever wonder how they got from the ocean to your dinner plate? It's definitely been quite a journey. Today's video shows how fishermen catch billions of squid each year. Squid are soft-bodied invertebrates with sticky tentacles for catching prey. Squid are migratory species. They migrate thousands of miles between coasts and open seas to feed and breed. This popularity has fueled the growth of the squid fishing industry. Globally, over 2.18 million tons of squid are caught annually. On average, a large vessel can catch about 520,000 tons of squid. Most of these ships belong to offshore fleets of major fishing nations. China, Japan, and South Korea lead the world in squid fishing production. In Japan alone, estimates show about 36,600 tons of squid will be caught in 2022. About 70% of squid in Japan is caught using a simple mechanized fishing method. Fishermen can operate their boats to fish around the clock. They can fish near the coast without needing help from others. Squid fishing is an engaging activity that requires skill and technique. Squid are most active at dawn and dusk. Anglers should plan fishing trips accordingly. When fishing for squid, first stop the boat and check the current's direction. Once they understand the current, they start drifting and enjoy squid fishing. Hooks are often pink, green, or red to attract squid. Anglers use light rods with fast action tips. Light reels with braided line are preferred for sensitivity and low stretch. The angler releases the line and lets it sink. With one hand reeling, the other on the line, they gently jig the rod. Squid are easily attracted to movement. They keep the hook moving underwater to attract squid to attack. When squid are caught, it's crucial to sell them at a high price. Squid have soft flesh. Pulling too hard can damage their tentacles. Anglers must use light drag and safely bring them to the boat. Various methods like dip nets and specialized gear can be used. After preparations, the fishermen were set to head out to sea. Their boats have powerful radars to scan large ocean areas. Radars provide real-time data on squid size and movement patterns. The net withstands seabed pressure with large safe openings. A pulley system carefully lowers and raises the fishing gear. The net. In some areas, squid catches are rising as traditional fishing declines, suggesting squid is replacing fish in the market. In the Northwest Pacific, declining catches of Japanese sardines and Alaskan pollock have been offset by increased squid harvests. Once docked, fishermen swiftly brought fresh squid ashore. A team here sorts, packs, and transports the squid to market. Squid is the main catch off Korea's east coast. It's also one of the most consumed seafoods in Korea. Squid fishing in Korea notably differs during summer. In July, coastal fishermen caught 74 tons of squid, double the usual amount. Besides nets, squid is also caught using other fishing methods. On deck, both sides of the ship are adorned with 300 bowling ball-sized lamps, hanging from shelves to lure squid from the ocean depths. At night, when lit, a squid boat's bright lights can be spotted by the naked eye from over 100 miles away at sea. Dozens of fishing lines dangle in the water beneath the lights, each equipped with a specialized squid hook. When a squid gets hooked, the reel automatically flips it onto a metal shelf. Baskets are placed here to catch any falling squid. These elusive creatures require specialized tech and skilled crew for successful squid fishing. China's offshore fleet comprises about 1,123 ships among the coastal light fishing fleet. The number of ships is overwhelming compared to other fishing nations in the area. That's why this country has such a massive fishing industry. China's fishing industry is currently experiencing rapid growth. Catch volumes are soaring, and the economic benefits are evident. In 2022, China caught nearly 1.4 million tons of squid. Squid is best caught at night. Squid are more attracted to white and green light. Boats use bright lights and lures to attract hungry squid. Squid lures don't need real bait, just plastic shrimp with reflective coating. Strong light makes the reflective part shine, attracting squid. Catch rates are higher at high tide, on cloudy or rainy nights. These conditions provide ideal coastal waters and artificial lighting that squid prefer. Squid fishing with lights has minimal impact on the marine environment, as it doesn't disturb the seabed. Fishing platforms target only squid, resulting in very low bycatch rates. For longer trips, fishermen freeze squid in blocks to maintain quality during transport. After capture, fresh squid move on a conveyor to the hold, where they're arranged in trays. These trays are then placed in the freezer room for preservation. Squid, rich in nutrients, has become a widely used ingredient in many meals. Global squid market forecasts predict it will exceed $1.6 million by late 2025. Though not threatened, scientists warn unregulated fishing puts squid populations at risk. Unmanaged fishing areas often border regulated zones like exclusive economic areas. As squid populations freely move across these boundaries, Japan is renowned for its rich fishing traditions and advanced techniques that greatly contribute to its seafood industry. Longline fishing is a notable method Japanese fishermen use, especially for catching tuna. It uses a main fishing line stretching 30 miles, with over 2,000 hooks hanging at intervals. Squid and mackerel are the most common baits used. This method is highly effective for catching large, deep-swimming species like bluefin tuna. Japan is one of the world's largest consumers and harvesters of tuna. About 21 million pounds of bluefin tuna were harvested in 2022. On fishing vessels, tuna is bled, gutted, then stored in ice or chilled seawater tanks. Tuna for export or storage is flash frozen at -60 degrees Celsius to prevent ice crystals from damaging the flesh. A premium bluefin tuna can fetch thousands of dollars. Fishers take great care to minimize bruising on prized sushi and sashimi cuts. After landing, tuna are taken to markets for auction. The most famous is Tokyo's Toyosu Market, which replaced the iconic Tsukiji. At auctions, tuna are meticulously graded on size, color, fat content, and quality. In 2019, a 276 kilograms bluefin tuna sold for about $3.1 million. The year's first fish is priciest, signaling a bountiful harvest ahead. Seine fishing uses kilometer-long nets to encircle skipjack schools near the surface. Once surrounded, the net's bottom is closed, trapping the fish inside. Tons of fish are brought aboard in just a matter of hours. Japan's skipjack tuna catch was about 661.3 million tons in 2022. This species is common in canned tuna and katsuobushi, or dried bonito flakes. On this Japanese pole and line boat, fishers line up, each quickly hooking tuna. This traditional method uses poles and lines, each with a single hook. Fishers use live bait to attract tuna, then pull them aboard one by one. Though labor-intensive, each person can catch 661 kilograms of tuna per hour, with no bycatch. Yellowfin tuna catch was about 200 million pounds in 2022, used fresh and canned. Squid is a popular ingredient in many Japanese dishes, like the famous grilled squid street food. Japan's squid export market is big, shipping over 340,000 pounds to China, South Korea, and the US. Jigging is the most common method used to catch squid. It uses lines with lures that mimic small fish or other prey. These lures have barbless hooks designed to snag the squid's tentacles. Squid are drawn to light, so Japanese fishermen use bright lights to lure them at night. Jigging can be done by hand or with machines, which are more efficient for commercial fishing. A Japanese squid boat can deploy many jigging lines at once, each with multiple lures to maximize catch. The main squid species caught in Japan are the Japanese flying squid and neon flying squid. 2022, Japan's total squid catch was about 989,000 pounds. Some squid species are caught using bottom or mid-water trawls, which drag large nets through the water. Trawling is less selective than jigging, with more bycatch, but it's effective for catching large amounts of squid. Less common than jigging and trawling, squid potting uses artisanal traps, typically ladders baited with small fish, left in the ocean for hours or a day before harvest. This method also catches octopus in traditional fishing areas like Hokkaido and Nagasaki. After capture, squid are quickly washed and cooled to maintain freshness. They're then sorted by species, size, and quality. In processing plants, squid are carefully cleaned and gutted. This involves removing the head, guts, ink sac, and sometimes the skin. Most factories here employ hundreds of skilled workers for these tasks to ensure efficiency and hygiene. Together, they can process about 8,000 squid per hour. Depending on the end product, squid are cut and prepared in various ways. Common preps include slicing, cutting into strips, or preparing whole squid for grilling or boiling. Once frozen, squid is vacuum sealed and packaged for retail or bulk distribution. Some squid are processed into surimi, a paste used to make imitation crab and other seafood. Grilled dried squid is also a popular snack in Japan. The squid is cleaned, cut, and then dried naturally or in special ovens. Longline fishing is the most common method of catching marlin in Japan. This technique uses a long main line, often kilometers long, with many branches called snoods, each ending in a baited hook. In 2022, Japan's marlin catch was about 5,000 tons. Blue marlin made up roughly 60% of the total marlin catch. Striped marlin accounted for 30%, with other species like black and white marlin making up the rest. While not the main commercial method, rod and reel fishing is popular for sport in Japan. Marlin tournaments and charter trips are common, especially around Okinawa and other southern islands. A mature marlin typically weighs 600 pounds but can exceed 1,000 pounds. Sport fishers targeting marlin off Okinawa use sturdy gear to handle their 80-pound pulling force. Live tuna or artificial lures are often used to attract these big predators. Harpoon fishing is a traditional method still used in some areas. It involves throwing a harpoon by hand or machine to catch marlin. This method is highly selective but requires significant skill and experience. In some coastal zones, skilled fishermen use harpoons to catch marlin during migration. In 2023, Japan exported over 1,000 tons of marlin, mainly to US and European markets. Large, high-quality marlins are processed differently than smaller or damaged ones. A blue marlin caught off Okinawa is quickly frozen or cut to stay fresh. At processing facilities, marlins undergo thorough cleaning. This includes removing the head, guts, and other inedible parts. The fish is then filleted. meat is separated from bones and skin. Automated filleting machines boost efficiency and ensure uniform cuts. In Shizuoka, advanced machines process hundreds of kilos of marlin per hour. Vacuum-sealed marlin steaks are sold in supermarkets across Japan. High-grade marlin, especially blue marlin, is prized for sashimi and sushi. Fillets are thinly sliced and packaged for retail or restaurants. From scallop farming to sea urchin harvesting, Japan's seafood industry is precise and skilled. Today, we'll explore this fascinating industry. Japanese fishers catch millions of tons yearly, with scallops as a prized delicacy. The annual scallop harvest is a staggering 380 million pounds. While wild scallops exist, Japan pioneered scallop farming in the 1970s using two main methods. First, the hanging method suspends young scallops in baskets or ropes underwater for 2-3 years. This is common in Aomori and along Japan's seacoast, with harvest from midwinter to spring. The seabed method spreads young scallops on fishing grounds for 3-4 years before trawling. These scallops, popular in Hokkaido, are treated as wild and harvested from early summer to fall. China was Japan's top scallop importer, but the US has taken that spot in recent years. In the last 4 years, Japan's scallop exports to Seto wetlands soared from 4.9 million pounds in 2020 to 14.7 million in 2023. Scallops are versatile in Japanese cuisine, often used in grilled dishes or eaten raw. Early season catches are usually frozen, while the main fishing season starting in June focuses on dried scallops. The dried scallop process begins when they arrive fresh or chilled at processing facilities. Scallops are cleaned of sand and debris, then briefly boiled to loosen their shells. Skilled workers open shells and carefully remove innards, keeping only the firm adductor muscle. Some facilities use peeling machines to speed up this process. The adductor muscle is cleaned again and boiled for a precise time based on its size. It's then dried in high-temp ovens, sun-dried and stored in wooden boxes. These steps are repeated to ensure uniform moisture levels. After a month, dried scallops are inspected and graded before packing. Compared to fresh, they offer 20% to 65% more concentrated protein. Tuna, the elegant deep-sea dweller, is crucial to global sushi culture. Millions of tons are caught yearly, with Japan as a leading fishing nation. Many tuna species exist, but the bluefin is the largest of all. Oma, Japan's famed tuna town, focuses solely on this species. They use traditional trolling, requiring great skill to catch these giants. giants. This fish could be worth twice the price of the latest Rolls-Royce in the new year. But top chefs worldwide still seek them for their precious marbling due to their fatty diet. However, this fat distribution process needs at least 3 days to complete. So, if a tuna is caught today, it's refrigerated tomorrow and sent to Tokyo for auction. There, brokers will buy the tuna and sell it to restaurant owners. To travel long distances, tuna must be kept frozen at all times. At the auction or factory, a tail cut is thawed to assess meat quality and freshness. Unlike Omar's focus on bluefin, commercial tuna fishing uses various methods by species and location. Purse seining involves surrounding fish schools, usually skipjack and yellowfin, with large nets. Once the net's closed, fish are caught and brought on board. The second method, pole and line, is also used commercially to catch tuna schools, mainly skipjack and yellowfin. Tuna spoils quickly due to its fatty meat, so fishers bleed and freeze it fast after catching to keep it fresh. Besides raw or frozen, tuna is also canned. This process involves cooking tuna on industrial stoves for proper tenderness. Workers then manually remove skin, red meat, and bones to make various cuts based on order specs. After that, the meat is canned with water, oil, or other seasonings. Finally, they're sterilized and cooled before packaging. In 2022, Japan canned about 50 million pounds of tuna, down from higher numbers in previous decades. Often mistaken for eggs, sea urchins' true treasure, known as uni in Japan, lies in their gonads. Each urchin has just 5 gonads, making them a delicacy priced similarly to Wagyu beef. A 200g tray of gonads costs $100 in some markets, but in Japan, it can be 5 times that. Uni can be harvested 3 main ways in clear waters. Traditionally, fishermen spot urchins from boats using large protective goggles. They use a long pole with a net to collect the urchins underwater when spotted. This method works for sea urchins living in shallow waters. Another popular method in Japan and elsewhere involves diving to collect urchins by hand. Once full, divers surface and hand the bag to the boat crew. Fishing and harvest seasons are strictly regulated by region to protect sea urchin populations. Hokkaido's rich kelp forests provide ideal feeding grounds, offering sea urchins from spring to fall. Though Japan leads in uni exports, it imported 25.48 million units from overseas in 2023. The dark purple murasaki is Hokkaido's most common sea urchin. They grow to 10 centimeters, living 15 years in cold 2-meter deep waters. Another prized variety is the Chakota sea urchin from the namesake peninsula. Harvested in July, they're sold locally same day for peak freshness. Sea urchin processing is meticulous, avoiding any additives. Once shelled, the sea urchin's bright yellow roe begins to melt. Traditionally, alumine was added to prevent spoilage, but its astringent properties could diminish the delicate flavor of uni. That's why high-end restaurants often prefer ordering uni from chemical-free processing facilities. After cracking, workers use a special spoon to extract the edible gonads, then tweezers to remove the innards. These two steps can be reversed, depending on the workflow. Even a small tear or damage can lower the sea urchin's quality and significantly reduce its value. Sea urchins are sorted by size, color, and firmness, then graded S, A, or B, with S grade in blue trays being the most premium. $400 grams of S-grade sea urchin can cost up to $1,800. After selection, remaining residues are visually inspected and removed with tweezers. Premium uni is carefully packed in wooden boxes by weight, while regular uni goes in plastic trays. It takes about 15 to 20 sea urchins to make a 100-gram package. Nearly 90% of Japan's top-grade gokujo or AAA sea urchins come from Hishiri Island. Hishiri, Japan's uni haven, supplies sea urchins to Michelin-starred restaurants worldwide. However, the harvest season is short, lasting only from June to September. Red king crab is a prized seafood species caught under strict quota regulations. Fishermen work tirelessly during the season to maximize their economic returns. There's one exception where red king crab can be fished year-round. This exception applies to Norway's fishing grounds. In 2023, after a 2-year hiatus, 31 Alaskan ships vie for a 2.1 million pound quota. Meanwhile, Norwegian fishermen can build boats and fish for red king crab all year. Burgoyne's fishing village, 500 kilometers north of Arctic Circle, once nearly bankrupt. Years of overfishing and poor management limited cod quotas. Boats now sit idle in the frigid waters. Fishermen survive on meager income from catching and processing fish. Then the crabs showed up. These creatures had sharp claws and outweighed the brown crabs they'd seen down south. At first, the red king crab invasion seemed like a disaster. Crabs tangled in nets and hooks, damaging gear and letting fish escape. But learning of Alaska's lucrative king crab industry, fishermen saw potential profit. Red king crabs became a lifeline for Norway's northern fishing villages during cod shortages. King crabs rule the seas for good reason. They scour the seabed, feasting on starfish, worms, and mollusks. In the frigid Arctic waters, they face few natural predators. Millions of these giant crabs now fuel a massive industry. In October 2024 alone, Norway exported almost $9 million worth of king crab. King crab prices have tripled in just over a decade, according to the Norwegian Seafood Council. Fishermen in the region can supply these prized crustaceans to luxury restaurants and hotels worldwide. Norway recently announced an 18% increase in the male crab quota, reaching 1,810 tons by 2023. While this crab species benefits fishers and the economy, its growth is causing rapid decline of native seafloor species. Red king crabs have expanded their range to the Lofoten Islands, one of the world's largest seasonal cod fisheries. This puts government managers in a difficult position. They must balance the long-term health of king crab fishing with protecting native species and traditional fisheries. They can't push for total extermination if they want to keep supporting northern coastal communities. At the Norwegian king crab processing facility in Porto Bourgogne, workers are processing 3,000 red crabs. This is one day's production of red king crab. Soon they'll be shipped 1,100 miles to Oslo, loaded onto cargo planes, and flown to Dubai, Louisiana, and Kuala Lumpur. Fishermen in Bourgogne trap year-round, with peak season from October to January. The red emperor they catch is regulated by government quotas to ensure the fishing industry's future. Fishermen check the traps every few days. Herring and mackerel bait can catch up to 50 large crabs at once. They then return to shore to sell their catch. A Norwegian crab fishing vessel's crew typically consists of 25 to 30 people. Fishermen can meet their quota of 4,400 to 6,000 pounds per boat in 2 to 3 weeks max. Live red king crabs are sold for $120 in restaurants. Norwegian red king crabs are harvested year-round, except April for shell-shedding conservation. Hundreds of boats scour Bahia's waters to find this prized crustacean. Fishermen found crabs even in shallow waters during late spring. As summer progresses and temps exceed 42 degrees Fahrenheit, crabs quickly move to deeper, cooler waters. This helps predict their locations throughout different seasons of the year. However, its route changes yearly and modern radars can't detect them. Fishing continues until all ship tanks are full. This can take 1 to 2 months. Another popular method is called radio fishing. It involves surveying an area with multiple ships at once. When a large king crab school is found, the ship broadcasts encrypted coordinates. All ships then head to this area. Norway's cold waters and sustainable methods give the crab a unique flavor. Each Norwegian crab fishing vessel can have up to 9,000 traps. This is the maximum allowed. Fishermen attach 200 traps to a 6.5-kilometer rope. The trap is then lowered to 330, 400 feet deep. They also ensure the traps are spaced about 98 feet apart. Each trap is equipped with a bait bag. Fishermen crush squid and herring into bait bags and secure them in traps. Crabs on the seafloor are attracted and crawl into the trap. If no crabs are caught, fishermen can load about 1,000 pots onto the boat and move to another area. If red king crabs are present, they set about 200 traps, change the bait, and drop them back down. As the boat nears a trap, the fisher throws a hook to snag the buoy line. Thanks to the buoy, locating the trap takes just a few minutes. The line is then pulled aboard, attached to a winch, and the trap is hauled up. Red king crabs can be processed by boiling and freezing. Freezing crabs at sea ensures top-notch quality. That's why this dish costs more, and the cruise pay is higher too. Fishermen release small crabs and females back to the sea. Crews must deliver the catch before the crabs start dying. Dead crabs release toxins that can harm the entire catch. Red king crab is a pricey delicacy in Russian restaurants. They're also found in the Barents Sea. Russian crab fishing starts in October, sometimes January. Waters where they live now reach 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Ice covers most red king crab fishing areas until May. Consequently, all ships get covered in ice. Vessels must break thick ice to set and retrieve traps. Falling overboard is the biggest danger, with slim survival odds. King crabs prefer staying near the ice edge due to their affinity for cold water. They must constantly break ice on the boat's sides and fishing equipment. The Fisheries Commission also urges vessels to limit crab traps in icy conditions to reduce ice buildup. Fishermen also face stormy winds and waves up to 2.7 meters high. Crew members risk injury or death from heavy equipment use or ice accumulation dangers. Despite challenges, the red king crab fishery grows each season. When fishing near shore, trap locations are stored in GPS devices. This prevents traps from being removed by poachers or other fishermen. The trap is a rectangular wire structure with a soft mesh. Directional slots at both ends allow crabs to enter easily. But they can't escape as their limbs get caught in the net. After collecting crabs, fishers reset traps and move the boat. Louisiana leads in shrimp production, America's top seafood. Shrimpers struggle with costs and cheap imports to survive. It wasn't always this way. For decades, Louisiana shrimp thrived. But since the 1980s, expenses have soared. Fuel costs alone make up 30% of a shrimper's daily expenses. But with inflation, this number has risen even higher. Despite these rising costs, shrimp fishermen still set out at sunset. This is when shrimp emerge from their sediment hideouts and roam the shallows. They cast nets carefully, avoiding dragging to protect the seabed. They rely on currents to sweep shrimp into nets as they're poor swimmers. The nets drift, turning with the current. When hauled up, the catch is dumped onto the deck. Crew sorts by hand, discarding bycatch before freezing shrimp to keep fresh. Shrimpers often spend 12, 16 hours at sea with no guarantee of success. Even with skill, a night's work might yield just a net full of catfish. Moreover, troublesome dolphins lurking beneath the surface sometimes tear holes in nets for a free meal, leaving shrimpers with hours of repairs and lost catch. The cost of new shrimp nets has more than doubled, and ice prices have jumped from $14 to $26 per block. On average, a day's catch can yield about 1,000 kilos of shrimp, depending on the season. The main shrimp species caught in the area are white, brown, and a small portion of pink shrimp. Louisiana shrimp contribute nearly 100 million pounds to the U.S. market annually, making it the leading shrimp-producing state. Once unloaded at the dock, shrimp begin a swift journey through the processing plant. Many U.S. families have processed shrimp for over a century, but fewer now work exclusively with Gulf shrimp. This Louisiana factory processes up to 30 million pounds of shrimp yearly, using both traditional and modern techniques. The first step is washing and sorting the shrimp by size. Next, they're fed into machines that split the shells to create easy-to-peel shrimp. Afterward, the shrimp are graded and the top quality ones are selected. Into these boxes. Each shrimp is frozen at -400 degrees Fahrenheit, preserving freshness for transport. Then, shrimp are packed in 2 kilograms bags, each with a traceability barcode. Traceability is crucial for consumers and retailers, especially when competing with shrimp from India and Ecuador. Fresh Gulf shrimp, often priced between $7 to $10 per pound depending on the season, competes with cheaper imported varieties, lowering its price to under $4 per pound. After processing, shrimp is sent to markets, restaurants, and supermarkets nationwide. Americans consume over 1.5 billion pounds of shrimp annually. From barbecue shrimp in upscale restaurants to New Orleans' famous po' boy sandwiches, an iconic dish loaded with fried shrimp on a soft French baguette, about 3,000 pounds of shrimp could be consumed weekly at each store. Despite its $1.3 million economic contribution, Louisiana's shrimp industry is fighting for survival as 96% of shrimp docks have closed. At the core of the issue is competition from farmed shrimp. Countries like India, Thailand, and Indonesia now dominate the global market, producing shrimp at a fraction of the cost due to lower labor costs and government subsidies. Shrimp are often farmed and raised in overcrowded pens that pollute coastal waters. In India, shrimp farms have contributed to mangrove destruction, vital ecosystems that protect coasts and support marine life. Without proper oversight, antibiotics are overused on these farms, fueling the rise of superbugs, antibiotic-resistant bacteria, which already kill nearly 1.3 million people annually worldwide. Shrimp farming in some countries has been linked to forced labor and dangerous working conditions. Many workers, often women, spend hours peeling shrimp by hand in cold conditions for low wages, usually with little to no protective gear. Despite clear quality differences, QI2I lacks proper oversight to ensure imported shrimp is safe. Only about 1% of imports are checked for contaminants, including banned antibiotics. A 2017 LSU study found 30 of 42 shrimp samples in Zuaire Seste tested positive for illegal antibiotics or antimicrobials. This puts American shrimp producers at a disadvantage against foreign competition. In 2023, Ecoda imported 1.7 million pounds of shrimp, nearly 90% of the country's total consumption. These imports, 30% cheaper, are putting huge pressure on local shrimp fishermen. They now compete with shrimp farms producing year-round, unlike wild shrimp limited by seasons and quotas. At its peak in the 90s, Louisiana's shrimp industry supported 22,000 jobs. Now that number's dropping as boats sit idle and processors close, producing 20% less than peak levels. Many shrimpers invested life savings in boats, hoping to pass them on or sell for retirement. But now, nobody's buying. The market's flooded with imported shrimp, much cheaper than what locals can produce. Shrimpers are stuck, can't get fair prices for shrimp, can't sell boats to escape the cycle. Around Louisiana, some shrimpers are struggling to find boats at all. Pushing for changes. They want more inspections of imported shrimp and stricter rules to level the playing field. They also support labeling laws requiring restaurants and stores to clearly show where their shrimp comes from. This transparency could help consumers make informed choices, supporting local shrimp and protecting their health. Yet even with new laws, some restaurants still pass off imported shrimp as local, exploiting lower prices. But the tide may be turning. Fines now hit restaurants that falsely label imported shrimp as domestic. Louisiana's health department received 2,600 violations for restaurants mislabeling seafood. Still, it'll take more than fines to save the local shrimp industry. The reality is that Louisiana shrimp are struggling. Some have seen dockside shrimp prices halve recently, despite rising boat operation costs. It's not just the shrimp that are suffering. Dock owners, some in the business for generations, are seeing fewer boats coming to unload. The industry's been hit by hurricanes, oil spills, and now a flood of cheap imported shrimp. Despite the odds, Louisiana shrimpers keep heading out to sea. They do it for love of the sea, tradition, and hope that things might improve. But without major changes, that hope might not be enough. Caught a giant fish that could impale you or flip your boat? Many think it's an experience worth having. This is lucky angler Ken Fraser with his legendary bluefin tuna caught off Nova Scotia, weighing 1,496 pounds after 10 hours on deck. At current average tuna prices on Zazua, it'd be worth over $86,000 on the market. Yet in 2019, a Japanese sushi chain paid $3.1 million for a 613-pound bluefin caught off Aomori Prefecture, northern Japan. That's because freshness, not size, is key in valuing bluefin tuna. In Japan, fishers use longline fishing with 2.9 kilometers of baited lines, to catch multiple giant tuna at once. Tuna's a strong, aggressive fish that can fight for hours, raising body temp and reducing meat flavor. Japanese fishermen who catch bluefin tuna often use an electric shock to quickly kill it underwater. Once on board, they pierce the brain, cut the tail, and run wire along the spine as tuna heat up rapidly. This traditional method keeps fish fresher longer by removing blood and treating rigor mortis, not just for tuna. The fish is then fully gutted to speed cooling and prevent contamination from damaged organs during transport. Finally, it's flash frozen at -76 degrees Fahrenheit, keeping hundreds of giant tuna fresh for months on longline fishing boats. Japan's Tsugaru Strait is famed for its bluefin tuna, especially in winter when smaller fish abound. This season, bluefin tuna's rich, fatty meat is prized, with giants over 661 pounds often caught here. As global tuna supply drops, brave fishermen risk their lives for this seasonal bounty, braving 70 km/h winds or risking fingers to the powerful pull of massive tuna. Known to reach impressive weights up to 1,432 pounds and lengths near 4.5 meters, swordfish is a prime catch in Izushira and Japan, fetching up to $22 per pound in premium markets. Recreational anglers in Zaizuwayasa use rod and line to catch swordfish. Anglers often spend 6 to 8 hours searching for live or artificial bait before getting a bite. Then the real fight begins. Using lines that can handle 800 pounds of force, fishermen rely on sturdy rods and reels built for the challenge. While prized by anglers, the swordfish's bill can be lethal, slashing violently during the prolonged struggle. Recently, this danger led to Italian surfer Giulia Manfrini's tragic death, fatally impaled while surfing in Indonesia. Swordfish can dive to depths of 2,000 feet when hunting for prey. These deep dives in dark waters have shaped a unique fishing strategy, with night being prime fishing time. As fish surface to feed, anglers use long lines with glow sticks on hooks to attract swordfish in the darkness. While it's possible to fish for swordfish and bluefin tuna solo, the fish I'm about to show you can outmuscle even the strongest bodybuilders and NFL players. Naturally, no one wants to risk taking it on alone. It's the Goliath grouper, one of the ocean's mightiest fish, with a record size of 814 pounds and 8.2 feet long. This monster fish inhabits the warmer Indo-Pacific waters, particularly around Australia's coral reefs, Indonesia, and parts of the South Sea. Anglers drop bait, often fresh-cut fish or live tuna, 300 feet deep where Goliath groupers lurk. Once hooked, the battle begins. With powerful jaws and vacuum-like suction, it strikes with explosive force, turning the first pull into a life-or-death struggle. Its strength can snap rods or pull fishermen overboard into the sea. Consequently, Goliath groupers are typically caught using specialized hand lines or sturdy rods, with lines able to withstand over 1,000 pounds of force. Anglers rely on a special technique known as pumping and winding, where they slowly lift the rod and reel in the line with each small movement, working against the fish's enormous strength for hours on end. With market prices reaching up to $100 per pound in 2023, a single Goliath grouper can be worth over $80,000, especially in luxury dining markets across Asia and Zebulia. There are many more incredible giant fish catches worldwide, but I'll discuss those in other videos. Now, let's take a look at other massive catches from the sea together. Often found in the cold depths of the North Pacific, from Japan's coast to Alaska, the giant Pacific octopus is one of the ocean's most formidable creatures. It could stretch over 16 feet and weigh nearly 110 pounds. Octopuses have the largest brain-to-body ratio of any invertebrate, making them incredibly smart. There have been reports of octopuses swiping catches from fishermen and other sea items. Once caught, they must be placed in a containment cage for safety. One wrong move could mean a powerful blow from a tentacle. Like fish, they're gutted right after capture to keep them fresh. Recently, single octopuses sold at Japanese markets for up to $4,000. The colossal squid can be 15 meters long and 450 kilograms, like a Harley in size and weight. Unlike smaller cephalopods, catching large octopuses needs special gear or skilled divers, who brave cold, murky waters up to 600 meters deep to find them. However, based on sperm whale specimens, scientists estimate only 4.3 million giant squid remain worldwide. As a result, commercial fishers can only catch such large squid using the digging or rod and reel method. The United States is a major consumer of squid, mainly in the form of calamari. While some domestic squid fishing occurs in the US, especially on the East Coast, it's small compared to global consumption. Most squid eaten in the US is imported from China, South Korea, and Japan, the world's top 3 squid fishing nations. In 2020 alone, China caught an impressive 1,040,000 pounds of squid. Would you like to try squid or octopus? Let me know in the comments below. The Japanese spider crab, with legs spanning 3.6 meters, wider than a basketball hoop, lives in deep waters around Japan and the North Pacific. As the world's largest crab, it's a prized catch, with live specimens sometimes fetching over $3,000. How do giant fishing ships operate at sea? Many wonder about this when thinking of China's massive fishing industry. With over 14,500 kilometers of coastline, it's a world leader in seafood production. Millions of tons of shrimp and crab are caught yearly across the country. China's shrimp fisheries are incredibly rich and diverse. Has unique ecology, ideal for shrimp growth. Chinese fishermen use various methods to maximize shrimp catches. Most of the catch comes from trawling. This common method is often used on large fishing vessels. This trawl net is cast to the seabed and dragged by moving ships, collecting shrimp and other seafood. Moreover, modern Chinese fishing vessels are equipped with GPS navigation devices, radar and sonar systems to locate shrimp schools, helping fishermen catch more efficiently. After capture, shrimp are preserved on the boat to maintain freshness. Fishing vessels often have water tanks that keep shrimp at the right temperature. Sea-caught shrimp will enter a widespread distribution system across China. Shrimp is transported from fishing ports to processing plants or seafood markets. In October, crab fishing boats began operating in Jiangsu's densest water system. In less than a month, over 40,000 tons of Jiangsu crabs will start their journey to dinner tables across China. Each crab typically weighs between 150 and 200 grams. Removing crabs from nets is tricky due to their pointy shells. Fishermen must wear gloves to avoid injuries from sharp spines. However, crab fishermen don't need gloves in autumn. At this time, crabs have just molted and are very soft. In northern China, early autumn means a short crab growth cycle. Though smaller, these crabs hit markets early, pleasing eager customers. Fishermen work hard in temperatures below 5 degrees Celsius. They transport batches of crabs, then take breaks. They'll cook noodles with small, unsellable crabs. After resting, fishermen harvest crabs from late night till dawn, when the catch is highest. Within 24 hours, even crabs in the hut will die from lack of oxygen. So fishermen rush back to shore to get the crabs to market quickly. In the next few hours, these crabs will show up in restaurants. Shrimp fishing is huge globally, with 34 million tons caught yearly, mainly in Asia. It's key to Korea's maritime economy, using advanced, sustainable fishing methods. Korean shrimp fishermen primarily use bottom trawling. They cast trawl nets along the seabed to catch shrimp. This method's popular for big catches in coastal and offshore waters. Fishermen drag nets through the water at various depths. This helps find shrimp species not living right on the sea floor. However, trawls are much harder to catch with. Trawl nets are used selectively, based on shrimp species and behavior. Modern shrimp boats use advanced tech like sonar and GPS to find shrimp more efficiently. These tools help fishers optimize catches and reduce time at sea. South Korea's coast, including Jeju Island waters, is known for diverse marine life and rich shrimp stocks. Warm currents and varied seabed make this area perfect for shrimp fishing. Korea's total shrimp catch in 2023 was about 50,000 tons, per recent stats. Like fish or squid, shrimp fishing has closed seasons to allow populations to recover and breed. Fishing efforts create jobs in processing plants, where shrimp is prepared for local and export markets. Korean shrimp is popular globally, especially in Japan, the US, and European countries. How do Japanese fishermen catch millions of tons of shrimp annually? Many wonder about this when learning about Japan's fishing industry. With its vast coastline and rich seas, Japan leads in global shrimp production. Japanese shrimp fishing spans from the Sea of Okhotsk to the East China Sea. White shrimp signals the arrival of spring. It's known as the Jewel of Oyama Bay. Japanese fishermen use advanced techniques to maximize yield and minimize environmental impact. The most widely used tool is the trawl net. Modern trawls are designed to minimize bycatch of other seafood species. In Japan's North Sea, fishermen use modern trawls to harvest up to 50,000 tons of lobster annually. In southern seas, shrimp catching methods yield an average of 200,000 tons of shrimp per year. Japanese fishing boats use GPS and radar to locate shrimp shoals, optimizing the fishing process. Fishermen typically store large amounts of ice. After capture, shrimp are preserved on board to ensure freshness. Modern Japanese fishing vessels often have advanced refrigeration systems for optimal shrimp storage. Shrimp are sorted and placed in cold storage to maintain quality. After catching, shrimp products are distributed to markets, supermarkets, and restaurants nationwide. Japanese shrimp is also exported to China, where seafood demand is high. Besides shrimp, Japan's fishing grounds are rich with various crab species. Cold Okhotsk and Japan seas suit snow and hair crabs. Warmer Pacific hosts other species. In shallow seas with many crabs, trawl nets are cast as the ship moves. It's designed to collect crabs and scoop up other seafood. After capture, fishermen sort the catch. Crabs not meeting standards are returned to sea to preserve future stocks. From giant squid to giant tuna, we'll explore how fishermen worldwide harvest the most consumed seafood on a massive scale. In 2023, an angler on Alaska's Kenai River landed a Chinook salmon weighing 65 pounds. But this is a rare catch for recreational fishermen. Commercial fishermen use two main methods to catch salmon. One of them is called purse seining. Fishermen use huge circular nets to trap entire schools in open waters off southeast Alaska's coast. Can you guess how much pink salmon this team caught? 1.3 million pounds. Besides seining in Alaska's Bristol Bay, gill nets are used strategically at river mouths to catch only adult salmon heading inland. In 2022, Alaska's salmon fishery yielded 770 million pounds, contributing $5.7 million to the state's economy. Salmon start life in freshwater rivers, migrate to the ocean, and return to their birthplace to spawn. This journey covers up to 900 miles for salmon species like sockeye and coho. Each species has unique migration windows, making timing crucial for fishermen. In Puget Sound, Washington, sockeye peak mid-July, while Chinook season is later around August. Japanese fishermen have caught extraordinary tuna, including several over 612 pounds. They're sold fresh or frozen for about $76 to $150 per pound. At Tokyo's Toyosu Market, a single bluefin tuna sold for $3.1 million, a record price for fish. Every year from June to September, these giant fish migrate near Japan, following a warm Pacific current at about 70 kilometers per hour. This 1,000-mile migration kicks off the tuna fishing season, lasting from August to January. Japanese tuna fishermen use sonar fish finders to scan waters about 60 meters from their boats, locating fish schools. When tuna are detected, anglers cast lines with live bait to target individual fish. This sustainable method is called rod and line fishing, with single hook hand line as a variation. When a fish takes the bait, the line snaps, making a loud noise to alert the fisherman. Bluefin tuna are strong, aggressive fish, so anything can happen during the catch. 150 meters to go, but this unlucky fisherman in Aomori, Japan's top tuna fishing prefecture, is wrestling with his tangled line. The tuna keeps pulling, not letting him finish fixing the line. Some fishermen use electric shocks to subdue these aggressive giants. When close, they use large hooks to snag the fish's mouth and bleed the gills immediately to preserve flavor. An average mature bluefin tuna weighs about 135 pounds, like an adult human, so it's tough to haul aboard alone. Next, some fishermen will pierce the brain and run a wire back and forth along the fish's spine or wash it to quickly reduce lactic acid, keeping it fresh much longer. The bleeding, gutting, and delivery process is crucial, as minor flesh damage greatly reduces the price. Some fishermen freeze the tuna for the same reason. For the coastal provinces on Japan's coast, this freezing and processing line is costly, but worthy investment, as tuna significantly contributes to Japan's $14.4 million fishing industry. In 2023, the bluefin tuna catch quota for Japanese coastal waters was set at 10 million pounds. For large-scale operations targeting various tuna species, purse seine fishing is the preferred method. This technique involves boats using vast nets, sometimes over 6,000 feet long, to encircle entire schools of fish. Some fishermen even use motorboats to confuse and corral the fish. Once the tuna is enclosed, the net tightens like a drawstring, forming a closed circle. This precise technique is often employed in deep waters off the coasts of Honshu and Hokkaido. Japan consumes 83% of the world's tuna catch, featuring in famous dishes like sushi and sashimi. This growing demand rebuilt cities like Kesenuma, a major tuna processing and export hub, which was hit hard by the 2011 tsunami. But in recent years, increased typhoon activity like Typhoon Haisheng in 2020, with waves reaching over 30 feet, and Typhoon Shanshan in August 2024, have made Japanese tuna fishing one of the world's most challenging marine jobs. In Maine's cold waters, a New England state, lobstermen caught lobsters weighing up to 20 kilos, the largest ever recorded. Typically, those weighing over 20 pounds can fetch more than $500 in the market. Commercial lobstermen often use baited traps placed along the ocean floor in lines called trawls. Here in Maine, each fisherman is allowed a maximum of 800 traps. Meanwhile, Massachusetts and New Hampshire have stricter limits to preserve local populations. Egg-bearing females get a V-notch on their tail, so fishers know their sex and release them to sustain future lobster populations. On average, only 1 in 1,000 eggs survives to adulthood. Lobsters can live over 50 years, molting up to 25 times in their first 7 years to reach full maturity. In most areas, lobsters must be 3.3 to 5.3 inches long for legal capture. The estimated lobster population of New England's coast is about 250 million pounds, one of the world's most stable. Of that total, Maine alone produces about 123 million pounds of lobster annually. Next to Massachusetts, these two states account for over 85% of American lobster production. Maine's lobster industry supports over 10,000 jobs with 83 million pounds exported to Europe and Asia yearly. However, it wasn't always this way. In the 1800s, lobsters were so plentiful and cheap that they often fed prisoners in New England. The giant squid is a rare, almost mythical catch hidden in the deep, cold Pacific waters. A more common giant squid catch is the Humboldt squid off California and Mexico's Baja Peninsula. They can weigh 118 pounds and measure over 5.3 feet, making them a challenging, valuable catch. Whole giant squid can fetch over $20,000 due to rarity and high demand for exotic seafood. Smaller squid are also economically important for fishermen in Japan, South Korea, and Zebu. These fisheries mainly use giant squid techniques for squid production, digging to catching tons of squid yearly. In Japan, flying squid is plentiful July to September. Japanese fishers catch them at night under bright lights, drawing more squid to the surface. Freshness is key, so on many boats, squid are iced minutes after catch to preserve their unique taste and texture. Japan imports 110,000 tons of squid yearly, while the US consumes about 170 million pounds annually. This makes squid a staple from Tokyo's sushi bars to San Francisco seafood spots. Annually, over 60 million pounds of mullet roe are harvested in various regions, including Italian Mediterranean coasts and vibrant fishing communities in Taiwan and Japan, to produce a prized delicacy known as botarga. The harvest season typically starts in late fall. In Taiwan's Tainan port, advanced farming boosted mullet roe yields by 20%, reaching over 2 million pounds annually. A single mullet can yield up to 5% of its weight in roe, with large fish providing nearly half a pound of this prized product. Japanese fishermen in the Seto Inland Sea process 3,000 fish daily, adding about 10 million pounds to the global market yearly. Florida's growing market sees annual catches over 1.5 million pounds, driven by rising domestic and global demand. After harvest, mullet roe undergoes careful curing, impacting the $250 million global botarga industry's pricing. The priciest botarga hails from Italy, costing up to $200 per kilo. Roe sacks are meticulously washed to remove impurities before heavy salting. Salting can take hours to a full day depending on the roe's size. The roe is then pressed, stacked under heavy weights. Afterward, they're washed individually. Next is drying, which varies between countries. Japanese and Taiwanese factories use traditional sun drying, turning every 2-3 hours. Some facilities patch broken roe with pig intestine membranes. This PET step is the longest, needing 5 skilled workers for 3,000 roe. These facilities process about 3 million pounds of roe yearly for export to US and European markets. Meanwhile, Italian producers hang them in the shade to dry. This unique process gives the final product a firm golden brown texture and distinct aroma. Once dried, botarga is vacuum sealed and shipped to gourmet markets and fine restaurants worldwide. In Italy, popular dishes include classic spaghetti with botarga, while in Taiwan, grilled botarga is preferred. Its bold flavor isn't for everyone, but those who enjoy it often become lifelong fans. It's easy to see why. A blend of sweet and savory notes with a creamy texture sets this delicacy apart from other seafood. Sturgeon, especially beluga, can take nearly 20 years to mature before its roe can be harvested. That's why it can cost up to $25,000 per kilo, making it one of the world's most expensive foods. Here, only 10 to 20% of fish are harvested yearly after careful screening using ultrasound technology to ensure high-quality caviar. Once mature, fish are sedated or culled before surgically removing their roe. This involves opening the fish and gently extracting the egg sac, called peeling. Notice no blood in the cut, as fish were thoroughly cleaned beforehand. Firm egg texture is a key quality marker, with larger eggs fetching higher prices. Some farms milk live sturgeon at 43 degrees Fahrenheit, sparing lives and saving money. Eggs are then separated from the sac by gently rubbing them on a metal grate. About 8 fish are processed daily, yielding around 16 million eggs. If needed, blood clots or misshapen eggs are carefully plucked out with tweezers. This process can take about an hour for each batch. At Marshallberg Farms, a top caviar producer, after extracting the roe, eggs are rinsed and salted with fine minus salt. This crucial step enhances flavor and preserves caviar for retail sale up to 3 months. Once prepared, caviar is packed in airtight cans, graded, and shipped worldwide. Caviar is typically classified into 2 main categories: superior and classic. Superior caviar has larger, lighter-colored eggs with a firmer texture, priced at $1,200 per kilogram, while classic caviar with smaller and darker eggs sells for about $798 per kilogram. Some caviars age up to 3 months, deepening flavor and increasing value. While the Caspian Sea is famous for caviar from popular sturgeon species, these fish are now found worldwide. In 2023, the US imported $19.8 million in caviar, with China dominating 70% of the market. However, American farms are growing fast, producing over 5,300 pounds of caviar yearly, double last year's output. Salmon eggs, known as ikura in Japan, its biggest consumer, are processed similarly to caviar. The texture is delightful, a satisfying pop when pressed against the palate, followed by a burst of juicy flavor. Raising and processing these fish requires a lot of labor, so although they're cheaper than caviar, salmon eggs still sell for about $100 per kilo in specialty stores. Salmon eggs come in various sizes, from tiny 5 mm soaky salmon pearls to larger centimeter-sized chum salmon eggs. The eggs have a consistency and color similar to honey. For an authentic Japanese culinary experience, try ikura sushi. This traditional dish features nori seaweed wrapped in sushi rice, topped with a generous portion of salmon eggs. Many prefer salmon eggs because, while not as pricey as caviar, they are packed with nutrients including omega-3 fatty acids and minerals that boost UV resistance and combat sun damage. Harvesting herring eggs on kelp is a traditional method for commercial production, especially in Alaska and British Columbia. Uniquely, herring eggs can be eaten right after harvest as they're not inside the fish. Each spring, fishermen place submerged kelp beds where herring are expected to spawn. Fish lay eggs on the kelp leaves, and the egg-covered kelp is carefully collected. The first sign of spawning is visible from above, light-colored water due to the white herring eggs.
Hello, dear audience. Today we embark on an exciting journey. The search for king crab, one of the world's most luxurious seafood delicacies. King crab isn't just a delicacy for fine dining, but a symbol of the ocean's hidden treasures. What makes these crabs special is their harsh habitat, challenging catch, and impressive stats. In Alaska's seas, a famous king crab region, over 20 million live in the cold, deep waters. The Sea of Okhotsk in Russia has a similar abundance, providing 25% of the global supply. Annual king crab catch worldwide reaches 100 million pounds, equal to 11,000 African elephants. Not only are they impressive, reaching sizes up to 3 meters and weighing over 10 pounds each, but king crabs are also considered premium seafood, with prices hitting $50 to $60 per pound in top restaurants. Their rarity and high economic value make them a prime target for brave fishermen in the world's coldest seas. But bringing home the highest quality king crab is no easy feat. Fishermen face massive waves, frigid weather, and the pressure of a short fishing season. Now let's board one of the sturdy fishing vessels to see how fishermen catch these precious crustaceans. To start our king crab fishing trip, we can't overlook the massive fishing vessels, floating fortresses built to endure Earth's harshest conditions. In Alaskan waters, these vessels tower from 120 to 200 feet high, equivalent to 5 buses lined up end to end. They're equipped with advanced systems like GPS, weather radar, and large refrigerated holds to keep the catch fresh. Each vessel typically has 8 to 12 fishermen working tirelessly during the 10-day to 2-week trips. Roles are divided among the crew, from captain and engineers to those handling and sorting the crabs. Everyone must work like a well-oiled machine to ensure a successful voyage. In Russia's Sea of Okhotsk, fishing vessels need reinforced hulls to withstand the harsh icy conditions. This makes navigation extremely dangerous, demanding exceptional skills from the crew. In Norway, king crab fishing boats are smaller, designed to navigate narrow fjords with dense crab populations. Once the fishing vessels leave port, the real journey begins. The first and most crucial operation is setting the crab pots on the ocean floor. These pots aren't ordinary equipment. Each weighs up to 600 pounds. Made of reinforced steel, each pot costs up to $1,000. Each ship typically carries between 100 and 150 of these pots, which are carefully arranged on the table before being set out. The bait is usually cod or skate, fish known for their strong scent that attracts crabs. In some areas, fishermen also use mackerel or sardines to improve their catch. When setting the bait, fishermen must position it precisely for best results. The bait is lowered to depths of 400 to 500 meters, where king crabs gather. Buoys are attached to each bait line to locate them in rough weather. After all bait is set, fishermen enter a waiting period of 12 to 24 hours. During this time, they check gear, prepare quick meals, or rest up. However, many choose to fish or repair gear to prepare for the next fishing trip. The waiting period is usually the most challenging part. Fishers hope for a great catch but can't be certain until they locate the crab pots. After hours of anticipation, the trip's most thrilling moment arrives: the crab hunt. This is the expedition's most dramatic part and determines its success or failure. Each pot can hold 100 to 150 liters of king crab, though they're not always full. A successful trip yields 40,000 to 60,000 pounds of crab, covering costs and making profit, meeting high demand in UAE markets and for export to Japan and South Korea. Fishing regions vary, creating significant differences in the king crab industry. Let's start with Alaska, where the Bering Sea offers the world's largest king crab harvest, accounting for over 70% of global supply. Meanwhile, in Russia's Sea of Okhotsk, conditions are much colder, with temperatures dropping below 30 degrees Fahrenheit, making navigation and fishing a major challenge. Fishing vessels here often break through ice to reach crab-rich areas, with an average catch of about 40,000 to 50,000 pounds of crab per season. In Norway, the Barents Sea offers a different perspective. This region is known for larger king crabs, though its harvest isn't as significant as Alaska's or Russia's. Each vessel here typically catches about 20,000 to 30,000 pounds of crab per season. However, the economic value is higher due to European markets willing to pay premium prices. That said, if the total catch is under 30,000 pounds, it's a disaster, putting immense stress on both captain and crew. In regions like the Bering Sea, each pound of king crab can generate between $50 and $60 in revenue, but operating costs for a large fishing vessel can exceed $10,000 per day. Fishing regulations also play a crucial role in determining catch limits. In Alaska, the king crab season lasts only 2 to 3 weeks, with strict quotas for each vessel. Crabs below the size requirement, typically under 6.5 inches, must be released to preserve the resource. King crab isn't just a fishing industry icon, but also a vital contributor to coastal economies. In Alaska, the king crab industry generates over $200 million yearly, supporting 10,000+ local jobs. Compared to other industries, king crab's economic value stands out, with each kilo selling for $50 to $60. American lobster typically costs $20 to $25 per kilo, while salmon is only $8 to $10 per kilo. This highlights the unique and exceptional market value of king crab. The main markets for king crab include Japan, South Korea, and several European countries. In Japan, king crab fetches the highest prices, sometimes reaching $100 per kilo in upscale restaurants. The king crab industry also boosts related sectors like fishing gear manufacturing and logistics services. Each fishing season brings substantial income to fishers and supports coastal communities' sustainable growth. The king crab hunter's journey reflects human perseverance against nature's harsh challenges. It's also a symbol of the link between nature, economy, and culture. Each king crab from the ocean depths reflects skilled fishermen's tireless work and balance. The impressive numbers, from hundreds of millions in economic value to thousands of jobs created, and the cultural diversity it represents, prove it's not just an industry, but a source of pride for coastal nations. Let's savor each seafood dish, remembering the story of dedication, effort, and hope behind every king crab. Fishermen's sea journeys are perilous, but the big catches make the wait worthwhile. These are prime fishing moments for the anglers. Before hunting, fishers watch for bird signs or small fish schools that king crabs often prey on. They use large nets and seines to encircle entire schools of fish. These can be hundreds of meters long and about 170 meters deep. Once cast, the net's mouth is pulled back like a giant bag, trapping the fish. This process usually takes several hours to complete. Finally, fishermen use a powerful crane to haul the net back and bring the fish closer. Once caught, fish are quickly frozen at -40 degrees Fahrenheit or colder to ensure quality. Snappers often live near the bottom, so fishing focuses on areas with strong currents and food. During hauling, fishermen must monitor net tension and adjust to prevent tearing. Care is taken not to damage the fish's skin or flesh, crucial for fresh fish export. Hauling in a catch takes time and requires strength. The catch is brought aboard using a modern crane system. To ensure quality, fish are immediately stored in cold storage at 32 to 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Pollock fishing operations are currently active in the ocean. About 79 Russian fishing vessels are operating in this area. Russian fishermen caught over 2.87 billion pollock in the first half of 2024. Pollock is typically caught at depths of 600, 700 meters, 3.5 nautical miles out. People fish in deeper waters, while schools of fish move along the bottom. They control nets on both sides to quickly and efficiently surround the fish. Pollock in the Barents Sea are often accompanied by crabfish. Fishermen must quickly separate crabs to ensure the best fish quality. Catching small fish is challenging, as they're hard to clean and process quickly. If left in the sun on deck too long, the fish will spoil. At this point, freezing is the ideal method. Quickly and accurately catching with the net is crucial to avoid injury or escape. Modern trawlers use nets that comply with environmental protection regulations. Fishermen minimize bycatch of crab and other fish species. Small fish are stored cold without processing. Modern fishing boats use nitrogen or seawater systems to keep fish fresh longer. Global mackerel catch is about 8 billion, mainly from North Atlantic and Pacific. As mackerel move to deep waters, large fishing vessels follow. Fishing trips last a month, but fish quality is maintained. The global mackerel market may reach $1 million in 2023. Modern vessels and strict procedures drive mackerel fishing success. Fishermen play a survival game at sea. They locate tuna schools and set up large nets. Tuna swim into the nets unaware. By the time fishermen pull up the nets, it's too late. All the tuna will be on board. The tuna is pulled onto the ship through a box on a conveyor system. To ensure quality, the tuna is immediately stored in a freezer to keep the fish meat fresh. Fishermen have to go to sea for weeks in search of tuna schools. They move very fast and can swim long distances, making them hard to catch. Also, fishermen work in cold conditions and store tuna at low temps to maintain quality. Compared to this, anchovy fishing in Nangmeng requires more effort. Anchovies are caught using a method called long box netting. This is a type of trap with a long bridge and net placed in murky water. Fishermen wait for anchovies that tend to move together near the water's surface. They usually migrate along the coast in the summer. In summer, when the weather warms up, anchovies are caught in nets. A key feature of this net is a smaller net inside the larger one, preventing anchovies from escaping. This is a traditional anchovy fishing method used along South Korea's southern coast. The Korean anchovy fishing season runs from October to March. During this time, the water temperature rises. Anchovies migrate to the West Sea, causing their numbers to peak. In 2023, South Korea caught an estimated 330 million pounds of anchovies. Fishermen use crane systems to transfer the anchovies onto the ship and into conveyor boxes. The anchovies are then processed and stored in cold water to maintain freshness. For successful trips, fishermen use large boats with GPS to locate anchovy schools. Each ship is also equipped with ice for preservation. Keep the mackerel fresh until it reaches the sea. Next up, we're at the halibut fishing boats. This fish is commercially caught and eaten worldwide. Halibut's flat body makes it easy to catch as it stays on the seabed and doesn't swim off quickly. As the boat drifts, the fishing net sweeps the sea, catching halibut. This method, however, also snares other sea creatures. Some areas limit fishing gear, like using regulated mesh sizes to reduce bycatch. Until next time. Taiwan's location is ideal for halibut migration, perfect for ocean halibut fishing. Dozens of halibut surfaced, thrashing wildly until exhausted. The halibut were exhausted, and fishermen hauled them into the boat by their backs. This traditional fishing method is considered the world's oldest form of industrial fishing. This method catches large quantities while maintaining top-quality tuna for strict markets like Japan, the US, and Europe. Did you know Alaska's halibut season yields over 150 million fish, totaling more than 742 million pounds? The average profit is $230 million, sometimes reaching nearly $800 million in certain years. The halibut industry is Alaska's most significant fishing sector. Catching and processing large halibut is tough work, but the rewards make it worthwhile. Every summer, thousands of fishermen flock to Alaska to earn money catching and processing halibut. This is Korea's biggest halibut catch of the year. Halibut are caught not just this winter, but every winter. Fishermen brave the sea, facing strong winds. They endure the cold on rocky boats and haul in nets. Despite winter winds, Fishermen lift and lower nets countless times daily. Quick netting ensures freshness, requiring many hands on deck. Halibut can be caught using various techniques depending on location. In Indonesia, they typically catch halibut using nets. After finding a good spot, fishermen cast their nets. The net is left in the sea for about 4 to 6 hours. Afterward, fishermen start pulling in the net to check. If lucky, they'll find giant halibut in the catch. Halibut are heavy, so 4-5 fishermen are needed to pull in the net. They work together to control and remove halibut from the net. For safety, fishermen can cut off the fish's dark fin. This fin can be a weapon that may injure fishermen. After that, they clean the fish and discard waste to prep for preservation. Halibut trawlers operate throughout most of the year. Fishers say the most profitable time is during halibut season, January to April. Modern tech and new fishing methods boost efficiency and sustainability. A 2-hour trawl can yield over 100 tons, depending on season and fish density. With hydraulic equipment, the total net operation time is under 30 minutes. This system quickly pulls the net, minimizes fish damage, and ensures quality. The fishing crew has been reduced from about 14 people to just 6. Longline fishing is one of Brazil's main fishing activities.